Hi, I am Kaylee Pham, and I am doing an invasive species project for Biology Honors 1A. An invasive species is a species introduced to a non-native location that has a tendency to spread and cause harm to the environment, human economy, or human health. The three invasive species that I will be doing today are the Eurasian watermilfoil and the Asian clam, which are invasive species to the continent of North America, and the raccoon dog, which is an invasive species to the continent of Europe. The Eurasian watermilfoil is an invasive aquatic plant in North America. Its scientific name is the Myriophyllum spicatum. Its origin is in Europe, Asia, and Northern Africa. It was first discovered in a Washington, D.C. pond in 1942. The way it was introduced was through dumping aquariums in public water, intentional planting for fish habitats, and unknowing transportation of fragments from one body of water to another. The spread of the Eurasian watermilfoil. After being found in a Washington, D.C. pond in 1942, it took only 8 years to spread through the Midwest and several western states. It spread to lakes, reservoirs, and places where standing or slow-moving water is found. It is established in 48 states, but is absent in Hawaii and Wyoming. It is established in Canadian provinces, British Columbia, Ontario, and Quebec. The Eurasian watermilfoil's impact on the environment. Of course, being an invasive species, it has a negative impact on the environment. It reproduces quickly through broken fragments that can easily set root and grow into a new plant. It completely destroys stands of native vegetation that our aquatic species need for food and shelter. And it has adverse effects on recreational activities such as boating and fishing. There are some ways to control the Eurasian watermilfoil, but since it easily moves from one body of water to another, it is difficult to prevent. Some ways to prevent the Eurasian watermilfoil is to rinse off any mud and plant material from equipment such as boots, wading gear, and your boat before leaving access area. Another suggestion is not dumping aquariums and water garden plants into wild bodies of water. Instead, they should be sealed in plastic bags and thrown away. Identification of the Eurasian watermilfoil. It has thin stems that are green, brown, or pinkish white. The stem can grow 1 to 3 meters in length. The stem grows progressively thinner the further they grow from the main stem. It typically has 4 feather-like, deeply dissected leaves whorled around the stems, 14 or more uniform leaflets on each leaf. It can easily be mistaken with the American native milfoil species. My second invasive species to North America is the Asian clam. It is an invasive clam in North America, and its scientific name is the Carbicula fluminea. Its origin is in Asia, Africa, and Australia. It was discovered along the banks of the Columbia River near Nacton, Washington in 1938. It is believed to be first introduced as an import of food sources used by Chinese immigrants. However, there is no direct evidence to support this claim. It is also believed to possibly have come over with the giant Pacific oysters when those were being imported from Asia. The spread of the Asian clam. Since its first discovery, it can now be found in 46 states, the District of Columbia, and Puerto Rico. It is prominent in river networks across the states including Lake Erie, Lake Michigan, and Lake Superior. It is mostly known as a biofouling of many electrical and nuclear power plants across the country, as water is drawn from rivers, streams, and reservoirs for cooling purposes. So are Carbigula larvae. The Asian clam's impact on the environment. It has a negative impact, of course, and its most prominent effect has been biofouling of electrical and nuclear plants across the country. It is documented to cause problems in irrigation canals and pipes and drinking water supplies. It alters benthic substances, and it also competes with native species for limited resources. There are many prevention methods to control the Asian clam. You can use screens and traps to filter out adult clams from water systems. You can inject hot water into pipes containing Asian clams to kill them, and you can also use chemicals such as chlorine and bromine to kill juveniles and adults. In an attempt to control the numbers of the species and limit its spread, some states have placed regulations prohibiting the import, transport, or possession of the Asian clam. Identification of the Asian clam. It is a small, light-colored bivalve. It has shell ornament by distinct concentric sulcations, and it has anterior and posterior lateral teeth with many serrations. In the top right picture, you can see its size compared to a native mussel and snails. My third invasive species is one that is invasive in Europe. It is the raccoon dog, and it is an invasive canine in Europe. Its scientific name is Nycteretus procyonoides. Its origin is in the Far East, and it was introduced to Europe in the 20th century around 1929 to 1955 to enhance number of fur-producing game species in the area. There is no specific discovery of it dated. The spread of the raccoon dog. It can now be found in Austria and Central Europe, and its population continues to grow and spread. The raccoon dog's impact on the environment. The raccoon dog threatens European diversity and human health. It hosts many parasite species and is responsible for transmitting many dangerous viruses and zoonotic diseases such as rabies in Austria. The most serious zoonotic disease from the raccoon dog seems to be the larva migrans syndrome caused by Balascaris procyonis. The identification of the raccoon dog. It's a canine. It has tan, black, brown, and yellow fur. It has dexterous front paws and it has a pointed snout, and it's super cute. And this is my works cited page. That is my project on invasive species. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.